nice. All right, God, we're live. Oh my God. So, guys, we got a new year coming along, and I don't know about you, I'm ready for this one to end. It's been a very interesting year, a lot of weird changes, a lot of weird things. I know my video quality makes my face look really dark, so I'm not for sure why, but oh well, it's still me. So, 2022 has been an amazing year. Lots of changes, lots of craziness. For me, we've done a lot this year. I mean, back in 2020, we had purchased a 160 acres here at Marshall Ranch now, and sold our homes, and it was in like September we finally moved in 2020. God, is it 2021? Yeah, now it's 2022. Living here for a whole year, lots of big changes. We have gals and all this stuff. But there's been some weird things happening. You know what I'm saying? Some weird things happening. And I don't know about you, I want a better next year. So we have a free seminar coming up tomorrow. You can go to my website, and I'll put a link here after I'm all done with this. Tomorrow's a 3-hour webinar. It's free. Just join and come join us. And it's about how to make next year a better year than this year by changing, again, what we're doing inside of ourselves to make us not feel so good. Remember, it is our emotional baggage from the past that we bring to the present, and we use our past to distort our future. We call that borrowing from the past, projecting into the future. And again, most people don't realize they do it all the time. They do it with the bad stuff, and they could do it with the good stuff too. But usually, most people do it with the bad stuff. Hey, welcome, California. And so if anybody have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'm here to help you. If you have any questions. So, this year I've learned a lot of new things about how the mind works and the neuroplasticity. Of course, I'm a behavioral engineer, created eutaptics, faster of T. And we have had some amazing, amazing changes. Hey, welcome, Romania. God, Romania is a beautiful place, and I really, really enjoyed being there. And I think it was a couple of years ago since all the crazy stuff started here in the world, as you know. But yeah, so knowing how the brain actually works and how it creates big changes. We've had a lot of new referrals, and like last week I did 26 hours of sessions. Wow. Well, that's a lot of hours. UK, and great UK, love UK as well, and Georgia. I don't know if I've ever been to Georgia, but I'd like to. And Germany as well, California. California's not my top shelf place to go, but Europe is, Germany is, but UK, it's all great. A lot of people ask me, why do you like to spend a lot of time outside of the US? And I said, because I like to travel, I like to see something new. And, but my biggest database or people who watch me are the USA, and I love Americans because I am American, and I love Europeans and Aussies too. So it's all great. The nice thing is, again, I think the world's going to be straightening up. We'll be moving forward. And, I guess in 2021, which is last year, I got married. This year we celebrated 1-year anniversary in November the 16th. Yeah, good. Using eutaptics, faster of T, to change your childhood and bullying memories. Oh, yes. Remember, guys, do you realize that our childhood, what happened to us, our childhood, our events as a child, what we witnessed and what we experienced, we have a tendency, the brain writes it on the cortices of the mind, and it will recycle that. I mean, a lot of times we have a tendency to repeat and feel and see the world as we felt and saw it back then. So what we need to do is clean up our past. We call it inoculating a bad future by adjusting and changing your past. When you change your past, it sets you free to have a better life in the future. And it's worked for me. My life, I would have never in a million years ever believed that I would be where I am today. Never believed that I'd be on a ranch and have cows, longhorns, longhorns, and living the dream. I have 160 acres. We, back a long time ago, many moons ago, probably in the early 2000s, one of the dreams is, because I do travel, I do help people change their lives. I always wanted to find a place to own, like by a river or by an ocean or by a big lake or a nice forest where you can just get out and walk and experience nature. We do trainings and all that stuff. And so I unconsciously, and of course the unconscious, this is the amazing part about your unconscious. You may have an experience that happened a long time ago or an idea or really something you want. Over time, your brain will bring that to you. It will manifest it. And of course, what I had always wanted is to have something like that, a retreat somewhere. Not knowing when I bought this place, I actually was buying a part of my dream, because there's a part of our brain that actually manifests and produces. And again, somebody asked me, well, who am I? And my friend of mine, he spent all of his money and went to some Tibetan temple way over there in the very high mountains, trying to find himself. I said, listen, I know who you are. You're you. But the true essence of you guys, me, is our true essence is that we're a creator. We're a manifester and producer. Now, again, the bad thing is, or good or bad, depends what it is. If you were born in an emotional, crazy environment, and you have people who are angry and upset and bothered and beating people up and being angry and all that stuff, we have a tendency to actually manifest from what we're exposed to. And again, when you change what you're exposed to from inside yourself, you actually change your future. You know what I'm saying? You change how you represent the future. You change how you see things. You change how you represent the world. So when we go back and we rewrite your history, rewrite your stories, what you rewrite it to, good, bad, or ugly, your brain will replicate in your future. And that's why we need to clean up 2022, 2020, 2019, all the way back to the day you were born, the day and experiences. And as you adjust those, your life will be different. Your health will be different. Your world will be different. And again, just remember, our brain is a manifester. And the weird thing is, I worked with a young man just the other day, really horrified and terrified that something's bad going to happen to him. He's going to die. He's going to get killed. And he had this fear that if he dies, his children will be orphans and his wife will be a widow. And the weird thing is because I look back at history, try to find history. And hey, welcome Poland. I'm Czestochowa, that's where I've been, and Warsaw, did seminars there, amazing places. But so the weird thing is that our brain will experience something, and it goes all the way back to a childhood experience, stepping off the bus and seeing a 3-year-old child get hit by the bus and die in front of him. Now, the weird thing is we go that memory, I have no feelings, no emotion, he says. But what started at a very young age, he started scaring himself while he's at school, scaring himself, imagining that mom will be dead when I go home. And so that's what his whole life was built on, that one childhood trauma. And it impacted his angle and how he saw the world. And by the way, in that memory, when he recalls that memory, the one accident he saw, he had no emotions with it. But neurologically, it became a pattern that he replicated throughout his whole life. And a lot of times we have what you call those pivotal moments that distort how we see the world. And what we want to do is change these distortions or the memories. And there's a process I created. It's called the vow, the oath, the decision, or the promise. And oftentimes we'll either consciously we do it or unconsciously we do it. Your mother picked you up from school every day. Every day she picks you up from school. 365 days out of the year. But one day she was late. And she was late, and the little girl or the little boy was scared. And he or she created this idea, she doesn't love me. No one loves me. And that was a major, what we call an imprinted value system, an oath, a decision, a promise, an idea. And from that point forward, he always felt, or she always felt, that no one loves me. It's by one single moment. But the weird thing is that one moment overshadowed the hundreds of times or thousands of times mom was there. One mistake, one time. And that's what our brains will do. It'll amplify one experience and overshadow all others. And so what you want to do is neurologically be able to adjust those memories, change those memories to set you free to have a better decision and a better outlook on life. And of course, you know, this individual who came to see me, he was elated. He's been in therapy for 6 months. Nothing's changed. And in a single 2-hour session, it was changed. Now this impacted his whole life. And now it's done. Oh, the Netherlands, nothing like the Netherlands. I did a seminar there in The Hague, and I'd love to come and visit again. You know what's really weird too is when we walk around The Hague, there is, around the lake or whatever it is out there, there's all this arugula growing everywhere, like fresh, you know, vegetables right there, just growing everywhere, like naturally. I thought that was weird, odd, you know. Of course, I did have, we did order the raw fish, you know, I think it's I don't remember what kind, it starts with an H. And it was bad, and it was coming out both ends, and it was really not a good experience. But I've had it before, it was great. So it was just one bad one. So anyways, it's kind of fun. I do miss traveling. I mean, I've been traveling around the world for the last 10 years. Herring, that's right, herring. But yeah, it was pretty amazing to be able to see and travel around the world and see people change. See people change real lives, you know. And so the individual who sent, there's actually a rabbi had sent actually a son to come and get help. And of course, it changed like that. He said, this is a miracle. And of course, you know, knowing mechanically how the mind works and how the world can change, your life can change too. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, like some people have had a big amount of emotional trauma, or let's say emotional conditioning, repetitive hurts over and over again. Sometimes that's a little bit bigger and a little bit more difficult to change because, again, you're actually doing it on a continual basis. That's where the big changes need to be happening. So anyway, so we have a great big meeting tomorrow. You go to fasterft.com. I will put a link here, and you can come join us. Come join us, and it'll be live. And if you want to be tapped on, we're going to be doing some tapping, so you get some free tapping. And yes, I can help you. So anyway, come and see us. It will be a game changer, and it's time for a better next year. What do you think? You with me? We'll talk to you later. Love yourself, like yourself from inside, because what you do up here and in here will affect other people, and it could improve your life or destroy your life. So check you later. Peace.